Right. The movement is the main thing I need some feedback on. I need to see.
WSG arrow keys.
Oh, is it broken? Is it? No, it should be WSD. What is his name? Press play.
Very high mouse.
I also think the collider is just really low for no reason whatsoever.
Okay, go and sit down. Luke, go and sit down.
Feels very slidey. You can use shift as well to sprint. Quickly, let me look at something because I did fix a load of this last night, but it may not have saved. Okay, yeah, it is in fact broken. That is because one, there's no sprinting. That. Why? That looks weird. Oh, it's just the gizmo making it look weird. Yeah, it's just because the stuff I did last night didn't save. Right. Tell me what you think in terms of speed and stuff when you press play. So shift is to sprint. There's the air walking state. There's the you also move faster when you move up or down the slope.
So is this just the end of it?
Yeah, you can shoot. It's just that there is no effect and stuff, and there's nothing telling you how much ammo you have left either. Has it just? There's no way it's. Nah, it's
Just died right there.
That is the worst timing. Use the shitty college mouse though. Should be connected unless I've just connected the wrong thing. Oh my god, I just connected the keyboard.
I was wondering, don't fans supposed to take off the mouse?
What? That? That's just because it's still playing. Good, good. Remember, it is still recording.
So, at the moment, there is one person in this room that can get past. That's it. By now, almost 70% of the room should be able to pass. Yeah, this is really this is what you get with Raven. Some of you are relying on this university. Yeah, you like it.
You may have to use mouse pad.
Yeah. If you prefer, you cannot get into uni.
Because I cannot be bothered to.
Yeah, if you prefer, you also can't get into HNC.
Yeah. Just, well, the whole reason I wanted to add slide to it is because I sort of want it. Hold on, I'm actually gonna. It's enough time that it should hopefully have. I didn't even pause it.
Super
So,
disappointed.
no, maybe I unpaused it. I don't know.
Realistically, everyone should have
Right.
taken this.
Have a go. Still fine.
We're looking at this from what the examiner will say.
If you want to expand the thing, feel free.
We do, but the
So you
examiner
move
is-
faster on a slope.
Yeah,
You
so
can see
we
that.
can't fudge them.
The big issue I think I'm going to encounter is if you sprint whilst going up a slope, I think it launches you. Is you see the states here? You've got 3 states: walking, air, and sprinting. If you're in the air, yeah, that's it. You don't lose any momentum when you're in the air. So if you were to launch off of going into the slope, I need to have like a thing that brings you down a bit more gravity-wise.
Or reset key. Reset key.
Yeah. Do you want to test out the jump and stuff? Yeah. But hold on. Before we do that, I'm gonna turn the slope multiplier down. Do you think the walk speed needs to be any higher?
Not really. I think that's
Do you think the
about where
walk
it should
speed's
be.
okay? Bear in mind the enemy will attack you, so you've got to sort of be faster than the enemy, but you can't sprint away from. I want it to hard to describe, but so you can sprint away from the enemy to get away from them, but if you want to defeat them, you have to obviously look at.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sprint speed. What do you think it needs to be lower, or do you think it's?
I like sprint.
There we go.
Assuming the enemies aren't going, are they going to stay that speed?
I mean, I might lower it because when you hit an enemy, what's going to happen is they're going to fly backwards with a ragdoll. So whenever you hit an enemy, you automatically gain distance from them. But if you have multiple enemies coming at you, then it's a different situation.
Honestly, with that, rather than changing the player speed, change the issue.
Do you think change the enemy speed?
Change the enemy speed a bit more, just so it can keep up, like, nice. If you're hitting enemies and it launches them backwards, you don't want to be stupidly slow, otherwise it will be.
What do you think?
What's it on now?
It's on 5.
Price 6.
I reckon that won't be a big enough adjustment.
I don't think it will work. See how much it moves it around.
So if you're walking, you walk slightly faster.
Okay, if you do it so when you're walking, they're slightly quicker, but if you're running, they're slower.
So if you're walking, they're slightly quicker. So I think that would, let's put it at 7.5.
Walk speed's 10, isn't it?
Walk speed's like 2, but I think they're calculated by different. Holy shit, he catches up fast. I kind of like that. What the fuck? What? I don't know what's called. Oh, that would be the. That would be the way that it works, but I'm not too fussed about that necessarily. Then
If
if I sprint,
if you're able to get away from Jesus, if you're able to get away from it, walking, and then
Yeah.
on top of that, it fires the backwards.
what I might do is because I kind of like this sloped movement thing. I want to work the sloped movement in with like a wall running mechanic, so that automatically on your own you don't run too fast. But by using stuff like wall running and slopes, then you can sort of gain more momentum. But You can use that with jumping as well, I think. If I,
Like with the slopes of the ramps, it's just.
oh, that's just, I just
I
nudged
think it's
that.
just the map's not. Well, there's not much landing space to be able to use the momentum. It's the only thing I'd say.
I think I'm usually four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That jumps way too high.
Jeez.
The air I may need to. Aha. I know what's causing that. So, depending on what speed you're going when you're in the air, it multiplies the speed. So, for example,
How much does it multiply by?
exactly, that's what.
120.
Air MP, it multiplies, it's 1. But I think there's also no friction, there's no drag in the air. That works quite well. It's still a really big jump, but I plan to have like a speed bar, sprint bar as well.
But it's going to be a high-paced game. I think. Yeah, it'll be alright.
I want to lower the jump as well because I feel like that's way too high.
Yeah, and sprint, I was going to say, because can you sprint backwards? Is another question.
Yes.
Okay.
But I feel like that is very hard to. If you're doing that, you're not going to be looking where you're going. So if I add stuff to the environment that makes it so that you have to be aware of where you're going and where things are, that'll make that less likely.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make a sprint. I could hard code that you could only sprint forwards. That'd be very difficult. And I don't think it would be worth the time at this stage.
It's not at this stage, but I mean, if there's any more, like extra time on that,
Yeah.
it'll probably be a good mechanic not to sprint back. You can sprint back if you just have one stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But if I work in stuff around the map, then that means that there's a risk if you sprint backwards. But there's also the fact that if you're doing like that, right, there's no space for you to reload. You have to be holding down the sprint key to sprint. So if you
reloads are.
yeah, so you would have to do that, which would mean that it would be difficult to do all of that.
Funny with hands.
Yeah.
I want to know mainly about what you think about the walk speed, the sprint speed, and stuff like movement purely.
Okay.
And I'll leave this all open so you can look there. Don't know why it's doing this. I'm not doing it. I think I've had this happen before.
Because it's importing assets. Have fun.
Should just do this. That'd be why it would have accidentally unplugged itself. I hate this cable. I can't tell if it's the cable or if it's the USB socket itself. Try a different USB socket. So no, that's the bad one. Right. I don't think my USB is fit. I'll tell you that. There we go. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a bit fast. I fell off the map. Am I going to spawn back on it? I don't think so, no. Yeah, it's going to look like a wall. Okay. Does he just... Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a bit buggy because for some reason it's doing this snapping thing.
Okay, I think the running needs to be a bit slow, especially when you're going off like edges like that. Accelerate it.
Anytime you're in the
Yeah, you kind of just, yeah, you go way too fast.
so what I might have to do is
I add a bit of friction.
I might try and add an air speed.
Right, okay.
That way when you're in the air it gets slow.
Also, how many are there going to be? Because at this speed, when I'm running, I don't think he's ever going to
Yeah, that's
get me.
but there's going to be a sprint path.
Oh, okay, so like stamina.
The main thing is if you combine using the slope as you just video when you
shit.
use slopes,
Yeah.
as well as the fact that you have a sprint meter,
Right.
you might try and make wall running depending on time.
Wall running would be sick. Especially with like the speed like that. What the fuck? How did I do that? What just happened? Whoa. Wow, okay. That's a bit weird.
But in the end, there's going to be just a thing. You have to use slope, wall running, and sprinting. Combine all of those together, and you'll be able to move at that speed consistently. But you're
Right,
doing
okay.
now. Whereas at the moment,
Okay, yeah.
but actually, you're right.
Jesus Christ. Don't fight Phil.
These guys will also like have like
Cooldown's a bit long on the guns.
yeah.
It's like, you know,
Things
quite a
that
lot
need
of
to
delay.
do work.
Yeah. So I'd say either buff the speed of the enemy, or, you know, well, it depends what you are. I don't know, like, not too much more, just a very tiny bit more. Because right now, even just walking, you can't really get me.
Okay, right. Yeah. Where would you want to check? What do you think?
I mean, honestly, the speed just needs to be, like, not too fast. Probably, like, how fast is it right now?
Right now it's set to it's because yet again because it forced me to close it, it's stop things. It was at 7.5.
Okay, yeah. No, that's good. That's a good speed. After that works, yeah.
But he also recoils a bit.
Yeah, he's got no friction on the front. He's kind of just spinning on
It's
ice.
because he's moving so fast. You can sort of just catches up fast. So yeah, you have to use the sprint to get away. It's very slidey.
Yeah. You just need to fix, like...
You think I should get rid of this one?
No, I think it's good. It makes it feel faster and I'm not fast to take it, but it needs to reduce it, you know? Because at the moment it's too fast.
So that would be right. Let me just try to do this. I don't know if that slows it down. Yeah, I get half my code sometimes. And with the amount of like integers and stuff here.
Right,
Yeah.
if you're unsure, maybe it's time to peer assess with the person next to you.
What do you think? Do you think?
I'll say that's a lot better, yeah, because you're not falling from that.
Well, yeah. Wait until I.
Well, yeah, if you do that. But yeah, no, I'll say that works. Good movement.
To be fair, that's actually a clean gun.
Yeah. What do you think about the gun compared to my last?
Compared to the bat that
I'm
you
trying to
made,
get to the.
that is movement.
I'm trying to get to. I think Luke this year like Pokemon.
Hammond.
That's the guy came in and asked about Pokemon.
So it's purely the movement that I'm looking at improving. I think I might lower the drag just a bit. Ignore the guy that followed you.
So what are the general rules? Yep, makes sense. Yeah, feels quite nice at the moment. So you might want to allow the player to choose their sensitivity if you get time, that is.
Yeah, there is this.
But yeah, feels alright. So what's your next steps?
Next step is to the enemy stuff, the UI for weapons.
Maybe just get a proper grey box going so you've got more to test with. Okay.
3 enemies. Then proper level, bit of grey box, level.
Cool.
Then work out some finer stuff.
Okay. Feels good.
To improve my weapons, I've got to do UI, make the UI for it, so it's easier to play test.